needs kids who needed the structure. Some
Mm.
schools still. I think my auntie is still going to work. She works in a school.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, actually, I did know that. I'd just forgotten. Yeah, it's
Uh,
weird. Just don't you think though that just things just ain't gonna go back to normal? Like,
my dad, my dad said that. He said like a lot of businesses are going to now think, why do we need to pay rent for an office when, or all of the outgoings of an office, like electricity and whatever else, water bills,
mm,
everyone's proven now that they can actually work from home. And in the past, like work from home was always like you think people were not actually doing their
stigmatized.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah, like people weren't actually doing any work from home, and of course we all like slack a little bit sometimes, but people slack in the office as well, don't
yeah,
they?
exactly. No, but not even just that though. Like they're talking about like when we do go back to work, doing like staggered hours, so people going in at different times. They're talking about having to have perspex screens between your computer and the next person's computer, having to wear a mask at work. Like, nah,
Live in a bubble forevermore. Like we can't. That's not sustainable.
stupid, isn't it? Imagine that, and you can't go near anyone. Fuck off.
Yeah, or like you go to a gig and you have to stand in a little like cubicle.
Actually, that part would be good. Stop people being twats.
Yeah, stop Jack. Like,
Stop.
stop Jack getting into fights.
Yeah, don't say that. That makes it sound bad. That was a long time ago.
Brawler. Um, do you like lockdown?
Um, there's parts of it I like, but to be honest, I've been feeling quite depressed. I feel actually more disconnected from people than. I mean, obviously, I feel more disconnected, but you think there'd be more sort of WhatsApp buzz and people. But I feel like you said, people just get into their own households and are just like kind of forgetting other people that even exist. Like, don't you think?
Oh, about you.
Who are you? I felt quite isolated. Even though I'm here with Jack, I dread to think how people must feel who are actually on their own. But
Yeah.
because, he goes to bed earlier than me, he's still working from home. So I've just been up for like till like 3 in the morning playing Animal Crossing, which has been a saving grace to be honest. But
I can't.
I just can't sleep. I just cannot sleep at all. And I miss working, believe it or not. I actually do enjoy my work, and I feel like it gives me a sense of worth. So I feel this, like
Yeah.
you said, when you feel like you've got nothing to talk about, I feel like, what
Mm.
am I? What am I even doing? I'm just festering.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I had a lot of anxiety at the start of it about um, not having a job to do and worrying that I'll yeah have nothing to talk about and that I'll be a really boring person. That was how I
Mm.
felt. Odd. Maybe that's something deeper within myself that I need to look at. But like, I was worried about becoming boring.
Nah, you don't need to worry about that. That happened long ago.
God, I served you that, didn't I? Son of- Um, but yeah, I found that like I think I'm an expert time waster. That's the problem. Like not
No
when I'm
comment.
not when I'm at work. Like I'm productive at work, but like when I'm
Oh,
on
of
my own,
course.
when I'm on my no, I even said this to my boss. Like, be fine. I'm an expert time waster. He was like, oh, I wouldn't have said that about you. And I was like, no, I mean like when I'm at home, I can be
Yeah.
very very late. So my days are kind of short, I suppose, but I've managed to like fill them with plenty of things. I
Like
mean,
what? What are you doing?
cooking a lot,
Mm,
doing a lot of cooking. This is going to lead me into my list, really. Um,
that's
I don't,
okay.
should I just do my list?
Yeah, do whatever. Don't matter.
I don't know.
You don't need you don't need a cue card.
I thought this is a flim flam section.
Oh, well, what? A kid just doesn't matter.
Anyway, what I found is that my anxiety was a load of bollocks, and I haven't become boring in lockdown. I've actually really enjoyed it.
Ah, okay.
um, like you say, we are really lucky to have someone to be around. And in
Yeah.
my situation, Dan goes out of the house in the daytime to do his work
Mm,
because he needs a quiet space at home, and it's online stuff that he's doing.
mm,
He goes back to his room, and then he comes back here in the evening,
mm.
and then he's not every night, but 3 nights a week or 4 nights a week, he's using my computer in my living room to do online classes. And he does that for a couple of hours, and that's like when I sort of like go away and prepare dinner. So like I'm being a housewife basically.
That's cool.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been quite good for me so far, and I haven't heard anything about extending my furlough though, so mine's still till the end of May.
Mine's till the end of June.
I know.
That sounds a long time. It's weird.
But at least you've still got another couple of months, whereas I'm like, oh, I've only got a few weeks left.
But aren't you? I think yours will be extended, especially if the charity sort of on its own, or is it like reserves?
You have to say that again. It cut out.
Is your charity quite well off or not?
Oh, I think so.
I
think it is. I think we have, I don't know, millions underneath.
Yeah.
Boards.
Well, mine's fucked because basically the main source of income is the Royal Albert Hall shows that they do, the gigs they do every year. Because that got cancelled, all our income is fucked. So that's the problem. I'm worried I'm not going to have a job at the end of all this.
See, I've been a bit worried about that as well. That's my own like underlying anxiety, and my dad doesn't help. My dad always talks about, if there is redundancies. I'm like, oh, Dad, they've said they're putting us on furlough. Should we explain what furlough is for those that don't know if they're listening for the first time?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, Lindsay and I are furloughed at the moment by our employers, which means the employer can apply to the government for 80% of your salary, and you're not allowed to do any work in that time. So mine was from, actually, when was yours?
I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks.
Is it since March, or is it since start of April?
No.
Mine was on 6th of April, actually. I think yours was just after that.
Yeah, it was like the week after, because I was laughing at you for getting furloughed. And then I got furloughed.
But, I mean, I think even if I go back to work at the start of June, it will still be working from home.
Yeah.
It will still be at 90% of my pay.
Oh, because I'm only on 80%, so you're lucky.
Whereas my employer's given me an extra 10%, so it's less.
That's good.
Less difficult.
I don't think you'll lose your job then, because if they've got money they can throw around like that, they've got no obligation to give you that extra 10%.
No, true.
It's good.
But then, for the people that are working, they've all taken a 10% cut. So yeah, I didn't lose any money by being furloughed. That was the good thing. Like, even if I go back to work at the 1st of June, I'm still in the same boat. I'm still getting the same money. For me, it's preferable to not work and get paid for it and have time to do things I haven't got around to that I wanted to do, which I should have got around to, like sort out my wardrobe or whatever.
Yeah.
A load of crap on eBay.
I agree. To be honest, when I first found out I was furloughed, I was absolutely appalled because I do internal comms, which you'd think would be important, and it just made me feel like there's no respect for what I do whatsoever. But then when I saw some of the other people who got furloughed, they're also really, really important roles. But I still do think it's absolutely bizarre to furlough me, but whatever. After thinking on it, I'm getting paid the exact fucking same as people who are working, so bye-bye. See you on my island.
Yeah, and I think because we work in the charity industry, it obviously makes sense that for charities they're going to maximise whatever the government's giving, because really uncertain. I feel like it's been a difficult time for charities anyway in the past 5 years, falling across the board, and now, like you say, all of our community fundraising, which is a really big part of a lot of charities' income, can't happen. So of course, if the government are handing out money, yes please, of course, for the good of the organisation. And charities, as much as like they help a lot of people, they are all businesses as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
all of our directors have taken like a 25% pay cut and stuff like that.
Oh wow! I don't think think everyone took the 10% and that was it. But that's good.
Yeah, I think our charity is in dire straits, to be honest. So yeah,
Then.
donate to Teenage Cancer Trust. Save my job.
So, no, I'm going to save that one because I've got something else to come back to that later.
Oh, I was going to say, should I say one?
Yeah.
Do you think your relationship has improved while you've been on lockdown?
Yeah, well, not improved, but I think it hasn't deteriorated because my relationship.
That's always a bonus.
I was already happy with my relationship. Like, I really am very happy in my relationship, and I guess for me, like I said, it's less intense because we're not together all the time.
Yeah.
Dan does go and do his work and comes back, and so there is a bit of respite for both of us. Not that I think we necessarily need it, but we even spoke about this the other day, and I said, like, I'm really grateful to be with someone that I can happily spend that much time with.
Yeah.
Now we spend every night at my house, apart from one a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, rule break.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Shut up, everyone. Leave him alone. They live next door. Shut up.
This is the thing. Like, we live 10 minutes away from each other, and
I tried to say next door.
we live on a really quiet route, so like you can walk back to each other's house and not pass anyone. And I always come back to like the whole logic of you still go to the supermarket, you still cross paths with a ton of people, and there's actually still people out there in the world still going to work. Like all the staff in my local supermarket, none of them really are wearing gloves or face masks. I'm in there week after week, and I still see the same people. They're not falling down dead.
Gaz is not a medical doctor. Stay indoors. Be safe. Protect the NHS.
Honestly, in effect, because Dan goes home and comes here, and I go to his house once a week, we kind of just make ourselves one household.
I don't think that's how it works.
We're the same, like.
I personally don't care anymore. So if people want to moan at you about it, that they can feel free.
Yeah, and the other thing is that his mum has a disability, and so sometimes it's nice to go and, well, for him to sort of go and check that she's managing everything for herself and that he can help out a bit. So on Sunday, it's like a particular thing that we do where we have a roast dinner. So it's like a routine thing, and we know that everyone has a good meal. And yeah, I just think like there was a lot of concern about her start, and from some of my friends, like the one in Ireland, there was a lot about her, but actually, like, she stays at home anyway, so this is not that different for her. Like, but suddenly what I noticed is everyone was coming forward being like, oh, do you need any shopping? Like, do you need this? Do you need that? And it's actually, she's at home all the time. She hasn't got the mobility and the freedom to go to the shop.
No.
But now everyone give her stuff, so of course she says, yeah, I need this, that, and all the other.
Nice.
So much that we can't fit it in the cupboards.
Cool.
Yeah, anyway, about my relationship, I think that I had a bit of anxiety about being boring and like being not stimulating to Dan because I had nothing going on, and that I might like get depressed and down. But actually, no, that's not the case at all. And I'm having a really good time. I like cooking for him. He's just spoiled me rotten for my birthday, and everything's really good.
That's good.
How about you? Because you and Jack have never spent so much time together.
No. It's been good. Yeah, my house is so small.
Yeah,
like, the other night, I was talking to Laurie's kid on Animal Crossing, and we were actually on the voice chat, and Jack shouted down like, "Can you shut up?" basically, because you know how small my house is. But that was like literally the only thing. We've only had two other disagreements, which were both very petty. One was yesterday about the washing up. And considering I think we've been 6 weeks here together now. That's pretty good going.
You've had two, yeah, that is good, because I would have expected more rows.
Yeah, so would I. I think we've been doing well. I think we've been giving each other a lot of space. He just goes in the bedroom and listens to music and reads a book, and I go down here and do whatever. I don't know. And we've just been, because he's working from home, it helps. I think we've been getting on really well. We just like careful not to eat too much, not to drink too much. And, have you been using your exercise equipment that you got?
A lot, yeah.
You have? Oh,